Alright, this is the next step. After you have glued your cockpit rails on, you then have all your clamps here, and really in just a few hours the Gorilla Glue will have set up hard, but obviously I usually leave mine overnight. So here I'm actually at this point removing the clamps, and as you can see, they are really nothing more than a piece of PVC pipe that has been cut of the, I think 6-inch maybe? Not really sure. I'm trying to get the camera right here. But anyways, you can see that that's what they are, just pieces of PVC pipe that have been split. On the outside of the boat, I've stuck these little strips. I got some mixing sticks. I've got strips of plywood that I've come up with at different times. And that's just so this part doesn't punch into the foam, which it will do after this length of time. So you just, in taking them off, it's actually pretty easy. You're just going to have those strips fall off, but you just simply grab them and they fall like that. And there you go. This rail is glued in. This will make the side of the boat a lot stronger. It will actually, anytime that there's a force that pulls the boat this way, like going over waves and sitting in it at different times, you won't have to worry. These rails will take that. They'll also take the compressing forces and keep the sides from bowing out. Like if you get over a rock and you're on the water and it's kind of tilting and there's nothing supporting the middle. These are actually very structurally strong and necessary. But as you'll notice, we have these extra bits of glue. The plywood doesn't stand up high because you have to remember the whole length. So back here where it was close to hitting the top, that's the highest I could put, or the lowest I could put the foam, because I wanted the plywood, because I wanted to make sure that there was some standing up. Now I'm going to cut it all down smooth. The other thing to notice too is at both ends, notice they're kind of extend past and actually make a pocket here into the foam, so that you know that it is bedded in very well into the foam, and this actually helps continue the stresses that this member carries, because this is a structural member part of the boat. Got the same thing going down that side, and the next thing I'll be doing is actually shaving these down. So the next step is to shape, and I love to use, this is one of my favorite foam shaping tools. It's a power plane. Oh, those knives need to be rotated apparently, but it just simply is a tool. You can set different depths. I usually run it at the maximum depth, which is still only a 1/16 of an inch. It's hardly anything. And that's what I'll use to shave these down. And just simply... As we go along with multiple passes, you'll see that this is becoming lower, and you just continue to do that because, like I said, it only takes a little bit off at a time, but this will give you a nice smooth edge. You want it to be level with the foam all the way along here. So that's all I'm doing. So as you can see now, I've got these rails all nice and smooth running along, and it even would help to put a little bit of a bevel on the inside. I usually do that later when I'm finally shaping everything off for the wrapping stage. Right, the last thing before wrapping, just make sure all the edges are smooth, because obviously a sharp angle like that, fabric doesn't roll over that very well. So this will actually get an angle like this. Actually helps so your paddle shaft, or your hand that's down here holding the paddle, doesn't keep knocking on this edge, because that will chew your hands up. The fabric actually is kind of rough. But that's how you do this step. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. It's got the same issue, and it's got the same height thing, and be taking that down smooth as well.